Anatoly Karpov is without any doubt one of the greatest players of the royal game. His World Championship matches against Viktor Korchnoi and Garry Kasparov produced many legendary games and fights, especially the very long match against Kasparov is an achievement which will probably never be again, but in the first match he was leading 5-3 and then it was abandoned, and in the then upcoming revenge match Garry Kasparov managed to beat him, probably also by having learned many valuable lessons from Karpov himself in his own style. He has an amazing feel for the harmony of the game, of the coordination of the pieces. He's a master when it comes to restricting the opponent's pieces, especially the knights. Many of his opponents probably still have nightmares from this experience. And he was playing often to dominate the opponent's pieces. One example of his many fascinating endgames is his game against Slim Boazis with black in Hamburg 1982. And it looks as if it should be a draw soon. Okay, White's pawn structure is slightly worse due to the double pawn on the king side, but it does not seem to matter much. But okay, there's a guideline for these endgames, rook and knight against rook and knight. As a light initiative usually weighs quite heavily, and this is a good example for this guideline. How did Karpov with black to move start here? And it's a typical maneuver for his style. Black's knight at the moment is not doing too much, so Karpov played knight b8 to regroup it to either f6 or c5 to lead it to greener pastures. And really, Karpov had a great feel for this, the options of his own knights and to how to restrict the opponent's knight or knights. But still, okay, black is slightly better, but it's not too much, of course. Okay, the first part of Karpov's plan is now has now been completed. Okay, going to f6 has no big point. White has made prophylaxis against that, so Karpov went to c5. But of course, he was also a great master of prophylaxis. He stopped the opponent's plans before the opponent even knew that he might have such plans. What now? a5, very good. The knight, helping the knight and opening another road for the rook and bring a4 into the position. Again, a very strong move in typical style. Here comes the rook. And now White should play b3 when black is slightly better, but nothing is decided yet. King e2 is a mistake, probably a miscalculation. Knight a4 and rook b6 uses White's mistake. Boazis has violated do not rush. He had not time. He didn't have time for these counter measures. Now rook d2 would be better, but of course then Karpov would have achieved already a great deal by weakening White's structure further. Now White has 3 pawn islands. He has only 2. White has these 2 doubled pawns. This already should be winning for black, at least when you have Karpov's technique. So, Boazis took, but again, this is a mistake. It just makes black's attack quicker. And here probably Boazis has miscalculated. If the rook cannot be taken, this would be right, then the game would be this typical draw. But Karpov just took back and gave check, and this reveals the problem. Now knight e1 is forced, and White is very passive, black is extremely active and has this queenside majority. Now it just must be winning. the difference in activity of the pieces is too large. Yeah, and so Karpov's king has invaded his camp, and so Buazis resigned. A really fine performance by Anatoly Karpov.